If you file a mandamus lawsuit to force your asylum interview, could this actually be counterproductive? Could it hurt your underlying asylum case? Like, could it make the officer who does your interview and makes the decision want to sort of take revenge against you or hold it against you and look at it as a negative thing, the fact that, you dared to sue the mighty US government? Look, I get that line of thinking. That seems to make sense. It sounds reasonable. It is reasonable, but no, that's not how it works. I tell you this with full confidence as a former asylum officer who has done interviews of people who got their interview through a mandamus lawsuit, and now as an asylum lawyer whose law firm has filed, I think, more than 200 of these lawsuits in the last couple of years. I tell you this with full confidence. Filing a mandamus lawsuit to get your asylum interview will not hurt your underlying asylum claim. There's multiple reasons for that. At the top of my head, look, one, first of all, the officer might not even know. The officer assigned to your case might not even know that you sued. When I was an asylum officer, we didn't know that someone had sued to get their asylum interview. Second, even if they do know, I still think they're going to care. It's understandable that someone who's been waiting for several years for their interview would take this action to assert their right to have their case heard. It's reasonable. It's understandable that someone would do this and want to have their day, in court, or their day in their interview to have their case heard. And look, even if they wanted to hold it against you, they're not allowed to use this as a negative factor to justify a decision. If the officer wants to do a negative decision, they have to justify this in writing, and their supervisor has to approve it. There has to be an actual legal basis for it. And this fact, the fact that, he sued the government, therefore that's a negative factor, no, that's not allowed. That's not included among the things they can point to justify a negative decision. Look, no, I do not think that filing a mandamus lawsuit will hurt you in your case.